Welcome to the instant sequence rapid fire trigger on regular lights tutorial. This tutorial I'm going to cover how to use the rapid fire trigger on regular lights. There's a different tutorial that covers on how to use it on a RGB matrix, but here we have a relatively simple display using regular lights. It's 32 channels. It's just got some lights along the house and a mega tree here. And this is actually a file called sample that's in the samples folder for the visualizer. Anyway, I imported this visualization and I'm going to open the instant sequence dialog box, and you can see we have the default is for the trigger to be normal everywhere. Well, I'm going to use rapid fire, and that makes, when I click on rapid fire, it makes this theme go to 1 pixel, which is what we're going to use. That's what you normally want to use for regular lights. And I'm going to change the color to native. The native color of the 1 pixel theme is for red, green, blue, and white to all be on. That way he turns on all the lights in every in the grid as it steps across the sequencing grid. And normally you have right same row, or these same row and same column ones are the default ones that you usually use for the regular trigger. For rapid fire, it's good to use like right multi-row. It's going to go across one row, and then it's going to go up to the next row, and then it's just going to keep cycling around. If you had a whole bunch of rows, it would just step through all those rows. And I only want to use him once, and so I've disabled the second row here. But when you're using multi-row, this is just the starting row. It's going to step through all the rows. What you're really saying is I want to use TCM once starting on row 1, but he's going to step through both rows. And then the timing map is very important with rapid fire. When you only have 2 rows, the default is to have the check marks this way. Well, I'm going to make it so it's just the middle part of the frequency spectrum. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to make there be 6 check marks here. And I've left the sensitivity at 5, which is the default. And then let's go ahead and sequence this. I've already opened up the audio file Hallelujah Chorus here. We're going to sequence to that. You can see it created some white effects up there, but if we click on these effects, you can see they have red, green, blue, and white all chosen. So let's play this and see what it looks like. Except let's go to the beginning of the song. You see, the idea of rapid fire is it makes it less blinky because it's just turning on one light at a time, and it just steps through all the lights like that. So let's stop that. Now, it's like I said, we were using the native color, which turns on all the lights, which in the case of this mega tree, it's turning on every string, and on these windows there's red, green, blue, and white lights around these windows, so they all get turned on as it goes across there. Well, we can change the color to be RGBW by group, and with rapid fire it doesn't matter whether you choose group or by effect, they both do the same thing. And then we can have, say, change the color every 2 seconds. We can do sequence all. And I think this is a more pleasing sequence. You can see the effects here, step through red, green, blue, etc. If we keep going, it just keeps cycling through red, green, blue, and we should get some white every once in a while there. Oh boy. Oh, there is some white there. It's just there's not very many white lights in here, so yeah, there's some white. Okay, anyway, so let's play this and see what it looks like. So there's doing blue lights, white lights. And if you wanted it to be more active, you can just click more of these frequencies, and there's going to be more triggers if you do that. Let's try that. You can see more lights are getting turned on at a time there. And then if you wanted it to be maximize their responsiveness, you could say all freaks. That's the same as putting a check mark in every box here. And let's do sequence all. Now let's play that. And you might feel that that's too responsive. It's just turning everything on. And so to control that, you can see there's in movement, this here is the speed, which means move it 1 pixel or 1 square every time there's a trigger. Well, we got so many triggers that it's just it's just moving so fast that we don't even see it move across. So if we move this to like 0.2, it's not going to step so fast, but it's going to make each light sort of flicker because it's going to do it's going to do 5 triggers on each light here. So you have several ways to control how fast and how responsive it is. You can do it by the movement speed here. You can do it by, and you can also do it by how many frequencies you have selected here. And you can also do it by, instead of using 1 pixel, you can say 2 pixels, and you can move it 2 every time, which is actually 2.1. I do 2.1 so that it doesn't get stuck in a certain cycle. It just ends up being better. So let's do this. And you can see more lights will get turned on because you're doing 2 pixels at a time. At least it'd be more lights than if you were using 1 pixel. In this last part of the tutorial, I want to show a rapid fire trigger on a display that has both RGB lights and some regular lights. But first, I want to show that you can use the floating windows feature to resize things here. I'm going to do this to make the sequencing grid a little bit bigger to make it more visible for this tutorial. And we can, with the floating windows feature, you can resize these to be anything you want. And if you don't have this feature on your software, update to one of the later S4 versions and you will have this feature. So now we've got this a little bit bigger, and I wanted to show that this first row is the RGB lights on this garage. The second row is the RGB lights on the roof line. The third row is some white lights on the bushes, and the fourth row are these windows and doors that have regular strings of lights on them, but they have a red string and a green string and a blue string and a white string around each one of them. So now let's look at instant sequence, and I'm going to start out by using 1 pixel and make him be red, and I'm going to use the movement of snake up, which is a multi-row movement, but it's it's going to go this way, and then it's going to go that way, and it's just going to snake up the grid. And I have TCM1 assigned to row 1, and let's look at the timing map. For the timing map, I have all freaks set so that rapid fire will move quickly. So let's do sequence all. I already have Hallelujah Chorus in here. And let's try playing that. Now, he starts out going on the garage, which is the first row, and then this is the second row. He's going the other direction. But you'll see, instead of going to the third row, he goes back down to the first row, because the way this is coded, the way I programmed it to work, is that if the row starts out in a row that's an RGB lights, then it stays on RGB lights. And if we can change this so that TCM1 starts on row 3, and row 3 is some regular lights, and if we do that, he's going to isolate himself to rows of regular lights. So now I'm going to set row 3 to all freaks, and we'll do sequence all. And you notice that now all these effects are in row 3. If we play this, then you'll see that it isolates itself to the regular lights. But since it's red, it's only lighting up the red lights, and there's the only red lights in the regular rows of lights are around the windows and doors, because these lights on the bushes are white. And so to get it to respond to everything, we can choose native, which is all colors. And let's do sequence all again, and let's play that. So now you can see it's doing stuff on the windows and the bushes. And I might note that in this video, stuff won't be synchronized well with the music. It's this screen capture software tends to lag, and so in the if you're watching this real time, everything would be in sync with the music. So anyway, that looked cool, but you might want to slow that down. And so on row 3, I'm just going to select 5 of the freaks, and that's going to slow down how the rapid fire. That's going to slow down the number of triggers, so rapid fire isn't going to move so fast. And you can see we have fewer effects up there. If we play this, you see it's moving much slower. And right now it's doing all the lights. It'd be nice to have some colors in there. So for I'm gonna change. What I'm trying to show here is that by isolating the RGB lights from the regular lights, we can have TCM1 set the way we want for RGB lights, which we've got all freaks set, and then for TCM3 we can set him for row 3, and then we can do right multi-row and have fewer. We can have fewer freaks on him, and so this way we can run both of them, and we can have them each set the way we want for either RGB lights or regular lights. So we do that. Now you can see we have 2 rows of things going, and we say sequence all. We already did that. We say play stop all. And so now now we have those going both the way we want. Now for TCM3, which is assigned to row 3, which goes to the regular lights, it'd be nice to have it step through some colors instead of being the same all the time. So I'm going to say use the custom colors, and it doesn't matter for rapid fire, it doesn't matter whether I do by group or by effect. But here's this custom colors for TCM3, and I've actually already set it to red, white, green, white, so that I wanted white to come up more often than the other colors. But you can set this any way you want. You could set this to blue, and now it's going to cycle through those, and you just click on these squares to have this color chooser dialog box come up. So let's do that and do sequence all again, and now we're going to play it. And now it's stepping through the different colors here on the regular rows of lights. Now another interesting thing we can do on the RGB lights, we could use TCM2 and start him. We could start on row 2 or row 1. It doesn't matter. The point is he's using snake down instead of snake up, so he's going to be going the opposite direction. And I'll put him back to just moving one at a time, and we're going to make him green and this guy red so that we can tell them apart. And we got to do sequence all. Now we got 3 rows of stuff going on here. So now you have the red guy going this direction, and the red guy is going this direction, and the green guy is going this direction, and where they overlap, they go yellow. And if you want to, you can speed that up by making this be 2 pixels. And if we speed this up but leave it at 1 pixel, what happens is you're going to get a dotted line because you're moving faster than the number of pixels. So let's look at this. You see the green guy is skipping every other pixel, but they're still overlapping, and they're going faster because they're moving 2 pixels at a time. So I think this is a good introduction to the different variations you can do here. And I forgot to do my favorite sign off. Thank you, and have a super day.